Yeah, good afternoon, students. Welcome back to Botany second year class. So today we are continuing with the SAQs from the first chapter, that is the transportation in plants. So in this chapter, we have finished till now the water potential, define water potential, this answer, and the plasmolysis. What is meant by plasmolysis? How it is practically useful for man, for us. This was we finished. And the next one is the how does use ascent of sap occurs in the tall trees. This question also we have finished. Now comes with the transpiration and photosynthesis, a compromise. Yesterday I said till here. So now we will see what is the transpiration, the advantages and the disadvantages of the transpiration. That is this question. What now we are going to discuss. Okay. So what is meant by transpiration? After this question, again we will go with the question. That is the transpiration and photosynthesis, a compromise explained. So that you will be having the complete glance of the transpiration process, how it occurs, and what is the one, how to compare with the photosynthesis. So it's an easy one. Once the concept was clear for the transpiration, for photosynthesis we know anyway. For the transpiration, if the concept is very clear, then we can go with answering with two questions over here. These two questions, we can easily give the answers. There is the advantages and disadvantages of transpiration, or else the question will be transpiration is a necessary evil explained. That means how it is dangerous for the, otherwise harmful for the plant body explained. So whenever we are saying transpiration is a necessary evil, in this we have to say what is meant by transpiration and what are the advantages and the disadvantages of the transpiration. So what is meant by transpiration? Transpiration means loss of water molecules through the stomatal apparatus that are present on the leaf lamina is called as the transpiration. Okay, so loss of water molecules through stomata is called as the through stomata that are present on the leaf lamina is called as the transpiration. So in this transpiration, what we have to write now, advantages and the disadvantages, so that it's easy for us to say why it is a necessary evil. So it's a necessary, but it's dangerous for the life, for the plant body. How we can say that after it's important, how it is dangerous for the plant body. So the advantages of the transpiration. Now first of all, what it will do, transpiration creates the transpirational pull for the absorption and the transportation of water and the minerals. That's the most important one. So first of all, what it will do, transpiration creates the transpirational pull. So with this transpirational pull, what happens? It absorbs water and minerals and sends into the upper parts of the plant body. That is the transpirational pull. And the second one, what we have to write, it supplies water for the photosynthesis. Okay. So to do the photosynthesis, water is supplied by the transpiration process only. It makes the supplement of the, otherwise water need to be supplied for the leaves. So that should be done only with the transpirational pull. And the third one, it transports minerals and from the soil to all the parts of the plant body. Just now I said with the transpirational pull, what it will do? It will absorb water transports water. Along with this, what happens? What will move along with the water molecules? Minerals and the salts. Those are the only present in the soil water now. So those are going to be supplied to the plant body for its proper growth. So end of the sentence with the last word is proper growth. For proper growth. Okay. Now, next one. What it will do? It helps in cooling the leaf surfaces. Okay. So it maintains the body temperature of the plant. Like that we have to say. It maintains the body temperature of the plant by the transpiration, by evaporating the water vapor. Okay. That's it. And now comes the next point. It maintains the shape and structure of the plant by keeping the cells turgid. That means same size of the leaf cells can be, the plant cells can be maintained by the transpiration process, because once the water is keep on evaporating, otherwise going out from the cell, then immediately from the other cells, water is going to be coming and satisfying, that is the maintaining the equilibrium over here. So with this, the cell size will not be changed, not decreased, not swollen up. Like that, the plant size is going to be maintained with the transpiration. Okay, shape and the structure of the plant keeps by the transpirational pull. That is the advantages of the transpiration. Now comes the disadvantages of the transpiration. Disadvantages of the transpiration. So what are the disadvantages of the transpiration? When the transpiration was more, then it leads to the flaccid cells. That is, cells will lose the shape by the more transpiration. And once the more amount of transpiration occurs, then the cells will become flaccid. That means they will lose their size. When the cells loses their size and they will shrink, that is called as the flaccid. Okay, thin cells, that is called as the flaccid. Cells will become flaccid, which retards the growth, which reduces the growth in the plant body. If more amount of the transpiration is there, then it reduces the growth in the plant body, as well as cells become flaccid. So you can make one sentence into the 2 points over there for the disadvantages. And the next one, if excessive transpiration is there, then the God cells leads to the closure of the stomata that obstructs the gaseous exchange. When more amount of transpiration is there, then stomatal apparatus never opens up. Okay, it always shows the closing nature. So with this, the gaseous exchange cannot be done. When the gaseous exchange cannot be done, then what happens? What is the impact without the gaseous exchange? Reduces, not reduces. With this, what happens with the more amount of the transpiration? Then the cells will become flaccid, and after that, the stomatal apparatus closes. So once the stomatal apparatus closes, what happens? The gaseous exchange stops. This is going to be stopped. So once the gaseous exchange stops, which part, otherwise which process was not seen in the plant body, which leads to stop the food production by photosynthesis, which affects on photosynthesis. So this gaseous exchange, which is a stopping by this more transpiration, leads to the stopping of photosynthesis. With this, food preparation is going to be stopped in the plant body. That means for us, what is the loss for us? We have to say everything for ourselves here. We are not only discussing for the plants, for the plants, for the plants. We are the selfish organisms on earth. So what is the loss with this for us? We won't get oxygen. Much more amount of oxygen we cannot get. Why? When the photosynthesis is not going to be occurred in the plant body, carbon dioxide will not be taken up by the plant and it won't release oxygen, which is more important for human beings. So like this, it disturbs all other life cycles also, only with the transpiration. That's the most important one. So why we are studying this is because of this. You can add up this point also in the disadvantages of the transpiration. Okay. So excess amount of transpiration leads to the shrinking of the otherwise closing of the gut cells, which leads to stop the photosynthesis. With this, the oxygen production in the outside atmosphere is going to be decreased, otherwise obstructs. Okay, otherwise stops. Any word you can use over there. So that is the most important 3 points. Like this, the transpiration is having the both advantages and disadvantages. So we can say is transpiration is a necessary evil. It needs to occur. But once it crosses its limits, it's a harmful for the plant body itself. But when that is there in the moderate condition, that is in the moderate medium, then it is useful for the plant as well as for all other living organisms. So everything should be there in their limit now. Like that, even the transpiration should be done in the limit. If it exceeds, then it stops the other process in the plant body, which leads to the stopping of the other process for other living organisms on earth. That's the one. So what we have to write in this question, transpiration is a necessary evil, explain. Here, starting and ending is the most important one. Okay, if you won't end up in a proper way, again, it's the not at all considered that you are the second year students. So remember this, transpiration is a necessary evil, explain. So whenever this question comes, the first sentence should be the definition for the transpiration. Transpiration means loss of excess amount of water through the stomatal apparatus from the leaf lamina in the water vapor is called as transpiration. Okay, you can write like this. Otherwise, you can say transpiration means loss of excess amount of water through the stomatal apparatus in the form of water vapor. Okay, and after this, we have to say why it is a necessary evil. Transpiration should occur in a medium manner, medium range in the plant body, so that it won't be showing the harmful effects, and always it shows the useful effects in the plant body and in the outside environment also. Like that, we have to say over here. Okay, and if the transpiration is more in number in the plant body, then it disturbs the plant life as well as the outside environment also. In the outside environment also, the gaseous molecules, the concentration can be varying with this disturbed. Otherwise, we can say it as a disturbed. It disturbs the oxygen concentration and the carbon dioxide concentration in the outside atmosphere, which gives a bad impact on the other living organisms on Earth. Like this, we have to start. Then we have to say the, so with this, we can explain with the two things. That is the advantages and the disadvantages of transpiration. The first one is the advantages of the transpiration. So what are the advantages of the transpiration? The transpiration creates a transpirational pull. It creates a transpirational pull for the absorption and the transportation in plant body. Okay, absorption of the water and the minerals and the transporting them in the plant body. This is the first point. Now comes the second point. It supplies through this transpiration, not it. Through this transpiration, water is supplied in a proper amount to the leaves where photosynthesis is going to be occurred. Okay. Then next point. It transports the minerals from the soils to the respective parts of the plant body, which shows the normal growth in the plant body. And the next one, it maintains the shape and structure of the plant body by making the cells in the turgid condition. Like this, if you have written, then everyone will impress with the way how you are writing the sentences. And the next one is the disadvantages of the transpiration. What are the disadvantages of the transpiration? With the excess transpiration, the cells will become flaccid and it shows the growth is going to be retarded. Okay, otherwise less growth can be seen in the plant body. If you don't know the retarded word, then you can use the word as the less growth occurs. Less growth is going to be seen in the plant body. And the next one, with the excess amount of the transpiration, which makes the stomatal apparatus to be closed so that it affects the gaseous exchange in the plant body, as well as which affects the rate of photosynthesis in the plant body. With this, in the next point, with this, in the outside atmosphere, oxygen imbalance can be seen. Okay, so what we have to say, the conclusion now. So by seeing the advantages and the disadvantages, transpiration is considered as a necessary evil in the plant body. This much you have to write for this answer. Based on that only, now we can say the next question, what we have already discussed in yesterday's class, that is the photosynthesis and transpiration, a compromise. That means why that is a compromise. Without this, this cannot be done, and without this, this cannot be. So just now we have discussed, if less number of transpiration, then if more number of transpiration, what happens? Stomatal apparatus closes forever. So with this, the gaseous exchange cannot be done. And with this, photosynthesis is going to be obstructed in the plant body. Okay. So that is the one what we are discussing in this question. That is the transpiration and photosynthesis, a compromise. They need to compromise. So without that, the plant life will not be in a normal way. So without compromising, the life will not be normal. The one what the plants are teaching to us indirectly and directly. What we have to learn from them, they will be having the different parts, will be doing the different functions. There is no such thing that one part is doing the multitasker. Okay, different functions. No, one part will do one function only, but everything will be done in a smooth way. How? When they will show the compromise between them, then only. Otherwise, if they are showing the egoism, then plant life is on risk. So even our life also. So what we have to learn from the plants when we are learning all these questions and all these things from the plant, even in our life, somewhere else we need to compromise. Without compromising, life cannot be a successful for anyone. Somewhere else you need to compromise. Otherwise, you will be alone in the world. Might be you are living in the society, but no one will talk with you. No one will share anything. So you need to compromise somewhere. That's the plants are teaching to us. So what we have to learn, the basic thing for our normal life. Then the subject comes over here. Okay. So always my subject teaches many things. So transpiration and photosynthesis, a compromise. So here, first of all, we need to say for the transpiration, then we have to go with the photosynthesis. So what happens during the transpiration? Transpiration creates a transpirational pull, which makes the plants to absorb more amount of water and transports the water along with the minerals and the salts to the upper part of the plant body. So with this, what happens? With this, the cells will show the turgidity. Same size of the cells can be maintained. And once the mineral water was supplied to the plant body, growth will be normal for the plant. Okay, growth is normal. And once the growth is normal, it can withstand any sort of circumstances that are there in the outside environment. That's the one what this is saying in this answer. Okay. So it supplies water for the photosynthesis. What I said already, it transports minerals from the soils to all parts of the plant body, which makes the cells to be turgid. What we have already said. Okay. And it cools the body, it cools the body temperature of the plant body. By evaporating of the water from the leaf lamina, it creates a cooling atmosphere surrounding the plant body, just like an AC for the plant only. So that is the inbuilt AC. Just like the inbuilt resistance for us, like that in the plant, this is an inbuilt AC. Don't write in the exam. Okay. And the excess amount of transpiration leads to the cells to be flaccid. Cells to be flaccid. And what else it will do? It makes the stomatal apparatus to be closed. Closure of stomatal apparatus occurs. With this, rate of photosynthesis decreases and gaseous exchange cannot be seen. And with this, what we have to say, how it is going to be a compromise with the photosynthesis? If the transpiration is normal, then photosynthesis is normal. If transpiration is more, then photosynthesis is going to be reduced. That means the food preparation in the plant body itself is going to be stopped. So with this, plant will not get the much more energy and it may become weak also. If more transpiration, sometimes it leads to the death of the plant body. So altogether, it is completely finishing the life. So we will say that both has to run in a parallel manner. Okay, then only plant can live successfully. That's the compromise. Okay, so the transpiration is having the advantages and the disadvantages, what we have listed now. Okay, and so it is, so the photosynthesis needs the water and the gaseous exchange. That is, a carbon dioxide has to be taken in, oxygen need to be released during the photosynthesis. So here what happens, if the more transpiration, then the gaseous exchange, the stomatal never opens. So carbon dioxide cannot be taken in by the plant body and oxygen cannot be released. So it won't be preparing glucose for the plant body. And if the transpiration is normal, then it makes the gaseous exchange to be normal, and photosynthesis is normal in the plant body. That is, then it maintains the humidity in the outside atmosphere also. That is, it maintains the body temperature, so that the photosynthesis never stops. Because for the photosynthesis also, if the outside temperature is more, then photosynthesis cannot start in the plant body. That means it will absorb the light intensity in the moderate conditions and not in the very extreme conditions. So what we'll see in how the deserts are formed. In the desert area, much more heat is there now. So in that area, plant life is very less, and plants are also very few in number. Same thing we have to say. Once the photosynthesis, once the transpiration has to occur, when the transpiration is occurring, then the humidity will be maintained all over the plant body. That means near the leaf lamina. With that, the temperatures can be maintained for the plant body. Then photosynthesis can occur peacefully. That is, normal photosynthesis can be seen in the plant body. Otherwise, they won't do the photosynthesis when high temperature is there. And if the transpiration is normal, then the exchange of the gases can be normal. So with this, carbon dioxide concentration and oxygen concentration is normal in the surrounding atmosphere for the plant body. So with this, photosynthesis occurs normally. Otherwise, if any one was get disturbed, then photosynthesis gets disturbed. That is the one. What with this, what we can say, the transpiration and photosynthesis has to maintain the normal pathway, so that it will give a good impact on the life of the plant body. So it's a compromise always. Okay, and the next question, we'll move to the next question. That is the explain the mechanism of opening and closing of stomatal apparatus. When we are saying this, what we have to write first of all here, we have to write the structure of the stomata, draw the stomatal apparatus diagram. Then we have to say the how they will open and close with the specific mechanism. That is the Levitt's K plus pump theory, K plus ion pump theory. That we have to say here. So don't think that those many things we have to write for the 4 marks. Till now, you will be adjusted to the writing part in my subject. Whatever may be, the question may be the small one, but sometimes the answer is somewhat bigger. Sometimes it's a very short answer. Okay. So here it's the structure of the stomatal apparatus and the closing and the opening. That is the Levitt's K plus pump theory we need to explain here. Then only we will get 4 marks. Okay. So how to draw the stomatal apparatus? First of all, see how we have to draw the stomata. And in the stomatal apparatus, the God cells are having the thick cell wall inside and the thin cell wall outside. So we have to maintain the thickness and the thinness of the cell wall only. Actually, this also should be drawn in the dark green color, but you cannot see it in a proper way. So I'm drawing in the light green color. Chloroplast. Now, once we are saying the structure, structure can be dealt with the diagram. Okay. So these are the God cells, chloroplast, nucleus, inner cell wall. This is outer cell wall. Okay. And this is stoma. Okay. So now what we are going to say about the structure of stomata. So whenever we are saying the structure of stomata, stomata is present and in the leaf in a large number, and stomata is opening and the opens during the night time, and the actually opens during the daytime and the closes during the night time in the normal plant body. In the xerophytes, it opens during the night time and closes during the daytime. Okay, but we have here we have to say in the normal plant body, so opens in the daytime and closes during the night time. Okay, and what is the structure? The stomatal is apparatus is having the two bean-shaped God cells, and the God cells are having a small opening in the center called as the stoma, and the God cells are having a thin cell wall outside and a thick cell wall towards the inside, having a specific nucleus and many number of chloroplasts in them. This is the complete structure of the God cells, and the thick cell wall that is present in the inside, which gives the elasticity for the God cells to open and the closing the stoma. There is a stomatal apparatus opening and the closing will be done with the inner cell wall, inner thick cell wall only. Okay, so this will closes and the opens the stomatal apparatus. So this will be how it will be opening and the closing. The opening and the closing of the stomatal apparatus can be said with the Levitt's hypothesis. So Levitt has proposed K plus pump theory. Okay, Levitt's K plus pump theory. What he said in his theory, what we have to learn here. He said that with the transpirational pull, plants will start absorbing the mineral water from the soil molecules. So with this, some ions which are making the easiest movement of the opening and the closing of the stomatal apparatus with the ionic exchange. So how it will occur in the plant body, that's the one we will see here. See, in this Levitt's K plus pump theory, we have to draw the simple stomatal apparatus, which is having a thick cell wall inside, thin cell wall outside. So, and here we have to say with the ionic balance, how they are moving and making the stomatal apparatus to open and the close. Okay, so here the K plus and the with whenever the water was absorbed by the plants from the soil molecules, they will take up the so along with the soil water, K plus ions and the Cl minus ions will come. Okay, and along with this water molecules, water is always present in the H plus and the OH minus ionic form. So what happens over here? This is the nucleus. Okay, so first of all, whenever the water enters into the God cells, along with this, the first one will be entering the K plus ions will go. Okay, into the God cells. First of all, K plus ions will enter. Whenever the K plus ions will enter into the God cells, immediately H plus ions will come out to make the ionic balance. And whenever H plus ions will come out, along with them, OH minus ions also comes out. So for that, again, for balancing, Cl minus ions will go into the God cells. K plus Cl minus. Okay. So whenever they enter into the K plus, that is the potassium ions, when enter into the God cells will become turgid. God cells will become turgid. Whenever they become turgid, like this. If these are the God cells, when the God cells are going to be the K plus ions are entering into the God cells, then God cells will become turgid. So when they turgid, you can see the opening in the center now. So whenever they are turgid, the stoma will be opened. The inner cell wall will goes into the pulled on the both sides because of the turgidity of the cells. Then the stoma opens in the center, which makes the easy exchange of the gases. Otherwise, the excess amount of water lost in the form of the water vapor through the stomatal apparatus. Okay. So once the water was lost over here, then what happens? Water potential in the God cells decreases, isn't it? Because here water H plus and the OH minus ions are moved out and K plus and Cl is more. That is solution in the solution. Okay. Solute molecules are more. That means water potential has to decrease what we learned in the previous class. The water potential, isn't it? When the solute molecules are more in the sugar syrup, there is a sugar, then the water levels are less in the sugar syrup now. That is in the honey or sugar syrup or whatever I said. So if you don't know, you have joined today only in my class, just go through the yesterday's class and the day before class and have a look so that you will be having the clear idea about the water potential. Okay. So like this, we have to prepare, and every topic is linked in my subject. Each and every question. This is the last topic. Then also, this is connected with the very first topic of the same chapter. Like this, complete plants are connected like that only. So here, once the solute molecules are more, water potential decreases for the God cells. Even the water molecules were lost, whatever are there. Then the water potential decreases immediately the cells will become flaccid, thin. Then stomatal apparatus closes. So that's the one how it makes the opening and closing of the stomatal apparatus. So see, if you put the thumb and the first finger like this, you can see a small gap in between. That is the stoma. Okay, this is the one. So once it was pulled, if my hand was stretched, then this open will be widen up, isn't it? And once the stress was released from my hands, then I can close this. I can come to closure. The two hands can come closure now. That's the closing of the stomatal apparatus. You don't know how to use the other water potential words and all the turgid, flaccid, anything. Then also, if you use these ions and if you write stomatal apparatus, God cells will become bulge and become thin. That also more than sufficient. So only this is only for the supply students. So you need to at any way pass this exam in this now in this month only, not in the next year now. So not in the next March. So now only you have to clear this paper, means you have to go in the easiest way, but we should not come out of that topic. We should be in the topic only. That means we have to write the relevant answer, but somewhere else we can skip out some hard words. Chalta, daudega, no issue. Okay, so how to go this? Once the K plus ions goes in, along with that Cl minus ions also enter into the God cell, and to make the ionic balance, the H plus and the OH minus ions will come out of the God cells, which makes the God cells to become big in size. Okay, and which makes the stoma to be opened up. So this is the opening of the stomatal apparatus. Now comes the how the stomatal apparatus closed. When the H plus ions and the OH minus ions will enter into the God cells, and K plus ions in this H plus and OH minus ions goes in. Now what happens? K plus ions and Cl minus ions will come out as the ionic balance. So with this, the stomatal apparatus is the God cells will come closure, and which makes the stomatal apparatus to be closed. Like this, the stomatal apparatus opens and closes in the plant body. Okay, so this one will make us to learn many things, isn't it? K plus and Cl minus ions. And with, once this is naturally what the plants are doing, how to open and the closing. And with the some hormones, that is with the abscisic acid. Abscisic acid, ABA, abscisic acid. Once the abscisic acid was sprinkled more on the plant body, then which leads to the closing of the stomatal apparatus. Okay, so through this we can reduce the rate of transpiration from the plant body itself. That is the last point what we have to write in this. So hope so that you have understood the main concept what we have to write in the opening and the closing of the stomatal apparatus, and be sure that you have to write these points and the only the opening and the closing of the stomatal apparatus you need to show with the simple diagram, and the stomatal apparatus, the complete diagram with the labeling we have to say in the structure, so that we can wind up the answer. So whenever you are writing the diagram with the K plus ions goes in, Cl minus ions goes in, H plus and the OH minus ions comes out. That is the opening, and the closing. H plus and the OH minus ions goes in. K plus and Cl minus ions will come out. That is the closure. With that also, if you explain the same thing, then also you will get at least, if you have not written any other thing, then 3.5 marks. More than enough now, isn't it? So learn in such a way. Okay. So we have to see the next answer. That is the Munch mass flow hypothesis. And we will discuss this in the next class. That is tomorrow's class, so that I can explain it in a proper way. Okay. How through the phloem, how food is going to be transported in the plant body. So which mechanism is going to be worked out, and how to, if we learn this diagram, can we write the answer or not? Okay. So this is the way how to learn in my subject diagram, theory, diagram, theory. If you know the diagram labeling, theory will come automatically. So learn till now what we have discussed in the transportation in the plant body. That is the water potential, plasmolysis, and the transpiration is necessary evil. Transpiration and photosynthesis a compromise, and opening and closing of the stomatal apparatus. And I'm guessing that from these 5 only, one has to come at any cost. This Munch mass flow hypothesis we will learn, but it is having a less hope to come and the supply exams. So at any cost, we have to learn, because few chapters, if you concentrate, all the questions, if you learn from those chapters, at any cost, the question has to come in the supply exams, and you will write in a proper way. You have to write. Okay, no option left out for you right now. From my side or from the parental side also, no option left out. You need to write, you need to clear the exam now only. So you can clear the exam and you will be ready for the next higher studies. You are continuing or not doing, that's up to you. But this one has to be cleared in the life. Okay. If not now, it will be a big task for you. So clear now itself. Make sure that whatever, if you are having the parental business and you want to continue in this business also, education is mandatory. They will ask us, have you completed, otherwise discontinued? So give the clear clarification that, yes, I completed. So better to clear this exam now only. So all the best, and we'll stay tuned to the same channel, same time for the second year's botany class for tomorrow. Right? Thank you.